We wish to emphasize we seek no wider war. Our response will depend upon the action of the aggressors, in this case, the North Vietnamese.
We have made a national pledge to help South Vietnam, and I intend to keep that promise. I have today ordered to Vietnam the Air Mobile Division and certain other forces which will raise our fighting strength from 75,000 to 125,000 men almost immediately. To send the flower of our youth, our finest young men, into battle.
Have concluded an agreement to end the war and bring peace with honor in Vietnam. That this is a peace that lasts, and also a peace that heals.
I graduated from high school without any plans. One of my best friends, same thing. And one day we were talking about the Vietnam War. We were coming out of YMCA in Pasadena. Both of us were interested in the military. And so as we walked out of the YMCA, we saw a recruiting office across the street. So we thought, well, let's just check it out. So we walked into the recruiting office, and he wanted to be a Marine. For some reason, that was his dream. And I wanted to be an Army paratrooper. 45 minutes later, we walked out, and I said, what'd you do? And he said, I joined the Marines. He said to me, what did you do? I said, I joined the Army. I graduated, and my orders were for Korea. So I went, and I thought, well, this was not what I asked for. And in the meantime, my buddy who had gone in the Marines, actually down here in San Diego, where he did his training, he ended up in Vietnam. And while he was there, he was mortally wounded.
My grandfather is a Vietnam veteran. I have a lot of veterans in my family, but I knew that he would never be able to make it to Washington and see the wall in person. And it was important to me that before he passed away, that I bring some type of wall to him. When I came to Miller Jones, I was transferred here in April of last year. I found the opportunity to apply through their process with the organization for the Wall That Heals. So in November, when they told me, hey, do you have time for a call? And I said, sure. They said, we would like to bring the Wall That Heals to Menifee. I almost fell out of my seat. I couldn't believe it. I had a breakfast meeting with Mayor Zimmerman. When I told him, I think he almost fell out of his chair at breakfast because he couldn't believe it. And he says, you've got to be kidding me. And I said, no. I said, so I'm asking you right now, do you think it'll be a chance that you guys want to be partners with us? Because I have other people that are actually on a list. And he said, forget those other people. We are in.
All law enforcement officers on motorcycles will be heading up the procession. All of our Vietnam veteran riders will follow, along with the groups that we had already mentioned. We sincerely appreciate the service of everybody who served during the Vietnam War and the Vietnam era. And thank you for your service and welcome home.
Well, we come out here to honor the veterans that are on this wall. I have some friends, their names on that wall. And one of them was put on that wall because he went to the PX for me. And I'll never forget him.
I went to school with a lot of guys that didn't make it back to Vietnam. So
It is 375 feet long, approximately 7.5 feet high at the apex. Once we measure out the area, then we set up the frames. And once we get the frames all level and all plumb, we stake everything down. Once that's all ready to go, it could take anywhere from 6 to 12 hours, depending on volunteers and depending on the weather.
Once I heard about this project being a thing, it was automatic. Just giving back to the veteran community is something that I do. Did 22 years in the Marine Corps, so giving back to the community and just paying it forward is something that I always strongly believe in. And I just, again, once the opportunity presents itself, to me, it was a no-brainer.
Does anybody here have someone on the wall? I have yours. Yes, sir. Okay. If you do, please see one of us and we will make sure you're able to carry that panel down, okay? And you can carry them home. The memorial you see does have the names of the 58,281 people who made the ultimate sacrifice in D.C.
yeah, Panel 2 West, my buddy, we were in the service together for 3 years. And 2 weeks before coming home, he bought it. And that was it.
So, where's this? This one's one. I'll leave that. It doesn't say.
You guys.
You guys go ahead.
Our foundation is the Vietnam Veteran Memorial Fund. It started in 1979 with our founder, Vietnam veteran Jan Scruggs. He decided he wanted to do something to remember all of those who fought in Vietnam and those who died in Vietnam. In the 90s, our organization had realized that not everybody could get to DC to see the wall. So they decided to create a traveling wall. And they also recognized the importance of continuing the education so that the legacy of those who fought and those who died would never be forgotten. We also brought with us the Mobile Education Center that not only carries the wall, but it opens up and it's a museum style.
This exhibit will visit 32 communities across the United States this year, but for this week, the city of Menifee will be its home.
The people coming out to see it has blown my mind. They were expecting maybe 300 people at their meeting today, at their ceremony, and they had almost 700.
This is a blessing of healing of those who come hurt, and those spirits also that reach out from the wall. And also honor the war dogs of Vietnam, which we had over 4,000. 362 were KIA in Vietnam, and 250 were brought home. The silent heroes are the service dogs, the war dogs, canine, that served in Vietnam from 1959 all the way to 1975. Over 4,000 dogs serve our country. 362 of them were KIA, that means killed in action. And like I said, our government brought some home, but later on they decided not to let them go to the public, and they euthanized them like that.
It gets emotional. I get there, I want to touch it, but it just makes me so emotional about it that I have people say that they can't even look at it, but I'm not like that. I can look at it, and I say a prayer for all the people that I knew that on that wall, for all the people I knew personally. I have probably at least 30 or 40 people that I know. Some of them were my kids I went to school with. Some of them were kids I went to boot camp with. And some of them were the unit that I was in Vietnam, which is 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marine Regiment. Younger generation probably don't know anything at all about the wars. You know, they know about Iraq and Afghanistan, but Vietnam, Korea, World War II, they don't know anything about that. So I think when you do something like this, it helps the kids to give them a better concept of what's going on.
I've learned so many amazing stories. I've learned how many people you walk past in your daily life who have connections to war or to Vietnam, and like you don't realize it, and they're just untapped stories. And I'm glad they're able to pass on the stories, because the ability to share stories it ensures that it never dies, that it's always there.
When I talked to him about it, he didn't want to talk about it. He never wanted to talk about his experiences in Vietnam. He didn't want me and my brothers to go into the armed forces, because it was really personal to him about how people reacted to folks coming back from serving in the war. So to me, it's kind of full circle that as an adult, as a professional, as a representative of the city, to be able to honor our Vietnam veterans, especially with my dad who passed away several years ago. This is a very personal thing for me, to be able to honor our living Vietnam veterans and those who've passed.
More than just seeing the wall, it's seeing the people see the wall, and then realizing what it is what's important.
We appreciate the fact now that we're getting just recognized. It doesn't have to be a big deal, but for me, like I say, just be there.
Thank you, for not me, but all these guys here.
Far from you, with tired hands and a broken soul, my heart longs for you. I'm far from you, with tired hands and a broken soul, my heart longs for you. In the midst of a foreign land, on the front lines, for the stars and the stripes. I close my eyes and dream of home. Hold me in your heart, never let go. Keep my name, keep my name alive. Keep my name, keep my name alive.